Hey everyone, welcome to Breakout Wednesday for the 8th of October 2025. It's currently 7:30 a.m. on the West Coast, and that would make it 10:30 a.m. on the East Coast. Now, first of all, remember this is never financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor. This is simply a video blog on how one trader sees market, and everyone needs to take responsibility for their own decisions. My kids are still napping, so I'm just not talking super loud. Now, here's a chart of the NASDAQ. Still trending up, no signs of distribution days above its 10-21 moving averages. Let's look at the XAO. It's come up, tested the old highs, and obviously it's still in an uptrend. So what I'm going to do is just get to my watch list. I don't want that one. Get my one of my current watch lists and just quickly run through it, right, and just show you what I'm looking at and kind of why. AHC is pretty self-explanatory. It's got this massive wall of sellers at here and then up at 0.4. Let me show you one sec. Yeah, so this is the order book for AHC. You can see like that resistance line is at 0.39, massive kind of wall of sellers. Also another wall of sellers at 0.4. The resistance, obviously there's currently nothing to buy at 395. It's a stock with big spreads, and but it's just this obviously needs to get chewed away, and that potentially needs to get chewed away. It's interesting to see. You don't usually see such a stack walls in these little stocks. So either someone pulls that order or it gets soaked up, but anyway, that's going to need to resolve itself one way or the other. Okay, don't know if it is hard to take that mentally when there's a massive wall up here at 0.4. Hey, but let's watch it unfold. Let's just quickly scroll through it. Forget that one. It was too thin. I wanted to trade this one, but it was just, I love these little tight things like that, but it was just, it did 259k yesterday, but it's a thin stock. It's got wide spreads, and I just couldn't do it. Bet makers, let's forget. BIS Steel, all right. So I kind of missed this entire move in the stock, but now it's sitting up here again, basing away in a Davis box. So let's look at weekly data. It's had about 4 weeks of high tide basing up here, big volume coming in on this day. No signs of distribution, right? Like no big red days with big selling. Like this big red day here is just on average volume. Don't really call that distribution. It's just nice uptrend. Doesn't look like it's late stage, and then it's tight in here, and I'm thinking, I can get my stop very tight here, enter, bang, and have good risk reward. So if you're looking at its relative strength, it's pretty good. 98, so shit. Now let's move on. Bot. I've just got bot in my watch list because I've traded it so many bloody times. It's just what a dog, hey? It's just gone. It's just had an awful run, but anyway, it's got a relative strength 11. I'm not serious about trading that yet. Okay, I've just got it in there in case. Okay, just in case this sits in this tight range for literally like 2 more weeks. Imagine if it just did that for 2 weeks. Exactly what it's doing here. Bang, 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 bang. I've seen it happen. It does happen. And then I would kind of break that rule of only concentrating on the highest relative strength name, and I'd have a smaller position on the break. Okay, I'll report back on that next week and the week after. Right, let's see how it unfolds. CBO, it's just, look, it's a classic setup. It's just basing sideways. I don't have an order on that yet. It's not the fastest moving thing. I've just got my money trying to put my money in the stocks that can rally 20, 40, 30, 40% very quickly. But still, I've got it in there just in case it just bases a lot longer. And, CGF, it's interesting, hey, like let's just get rid of this for a sec. I've got an order here for a break of this candle at 8.83, all right? It's a big kind of ascending triangle, isn't it? Bang, 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 bang. Today I think it's just flirting down a little bit today. So that, which was great for me. So let's just see. I did initially have a symmetrical triangle drawn on that, where this line was coming down a bit, which probably would have got someone in yesterday. It's just very tricky to know where to draw that resistance line, isn't it? And it's kind of, sometimes I'll cheat and do a diagonal, and it saves me, a bit of money because I get in earlier and it still breaks out. And sometimes I'll do that and then it will come up and hit this big resistance line and it will fall and I'll get stopped out. And it's the risk you take. If you're going to cheat and get in early, it's a risk. But then it's also a risk to wait and then pay a high price. So it's just, you just need to make a decision, back yourself, and just bloody do it and have your risk and stop loss in place, and just trust the process, guys. Right? I've got cog in here. This has wide spreads. Like it's normal for, there to be like a 7-cent spread on this thing sometimes. So, but I've just got it here, look, because it had this nice move out of here. If you remember it from Breakout Wednesday, and it's just tightening. If it just tightens a bit longer, and then bang, I'll try and just get a little position on and just play around and scalp it up here and just try and ride a bit of a breakout. CWP, this is just basing away. This, I don't know, it's a property stock. I don't think it's going to, go up 50% in a week, but it's tightening here, isn't it? Hey, that's pretty interesting. So watching that, haven't made a decision. Doug, wow, like this is so high and tight. Just look at that tightening action. So I don't need to talk more about Doug, right? I've posted a lot about it, talked about it. Let's see what happens. It might easily break down from there and go bang down here, okay? Or it might snap here and go bang up here. I'm not sure, but we'll see, and that's very tight. Deep yellow, okay, everyone's maybe given up a little bit on the uranium because I think, platinum hasn't gone down much, has it? BME, let's have a look. Yeah, so it's like, I just like this box on DYL, right? It's just basing away, doing its thing. It's got nice big green volume days. It's just drying up a little bit here. It's got blue sky, so it's got kind of 3 touches and tests of that. So that's my pick at the moment in the U space. EGR, I've talked about that heaps. It's breaking out today. It's trying to break out today. I'm in that. So you got it. Like if you're a pattern trader and a base trader and ascending triangle trader, then if you're not going to trade EGR, then what are you doing? And it's just like this might lose, but statistically my job's just to take that every single day, right? So every single time I see them, this is thin ERM, but I'm just seeing that this, I had a nice move here and here, just seeing if I can just base a bit longer, and I might get it. Watching this guy, I completely murdered this. Like I should have been in that. I was posting it to the forum with Adam, I think, and we were talking all about it, and then I missed the entry and bang, but it's setting up again. Let's just move on. Looking at Lot, just in a good space, isn't it? Big volume on this day. It came up in a volume scan for me, and then tri-point resistance, I think. Anyway, bang, 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 just watching that base, and it could be a nice explosive little move. So watching him. Let's LYC, shit, I don't want to talk about that stock. MAD, so I'm just looking at this from like a longer term point of view and saying, okay, look, you can say that this broke out back, here it's like come this huge run, and yeah, I guess it kind of did, but I guess it broke out kind of here, didn't it? But it's come up here and it's taken out this old high from 23. Okay, it's a profitable company, incredibly profitable company, and now it's basing up here. Okay, and so yeah, just base away, and bang, I'll probably trade that on the break. Metro Mining, I was just wondering if it was going to base and then break up, but it's just on the watch list to look at. Yeah, I kept this one in here because I had, a lot of us had a nice trade here, and it's just the importance of exiting, okay, when the time is right, when it's breaking your moving averages or when it's breaking support, because, this kind of 100% plus move can easily crash back down to where it came from incredibly quickly. And so this is why I love the swing trading, managing stuff, because you got to get out before this shit happens, right? MSB, wild stuff in MSB, but a lot of us traded that out of half and just being patient. NTU, I think Craig posted this to the forum. It's a bit thin, actually it did a lot yesterday, didn't it? Anyway, I missed it. I'm not in it. Let's see what happens. Looking at OCL, just uptrend, just really kind of flagging here. It's an interesting setup. Haven't made my mind up yet. That one I'm just looking at. Base, RDX, just look, I'm just seeing, obviously, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just seeing that it's had this nice move here on volume and it's just tightening. I'm just going to see if I can just, give me some perfection, right? Perfection on something like this would be tightening on tiny volume, and then you just get in your Bollinger Bands and they all start contracting, all right? Just, and let's see, it hasn't really done it yet, but if this can come up here and it just keeps there, and I'll do it. This is what I do in my watch list. Like, there's so many stocks in there, and I'm just asking and seeing if the stocks are going to give me perfection, right? I find them all in various scans, and I think, okay, maybe that's not perfect now, but maybe in 2 weeks it will be. And I just whack it in there and I watch it every single day. This is interesting, this one, hey. In a good sector, big resistance, but thin. Like yesterday was a big volume day and it did $101,000, right? And that volume in here, it's like, look at that, that's about, 4 times average volume. Okay, so it's like, okay, I know it might be hard to get in. SHA, I'm in that. Mike Trader posted that to the forum. Nice setup, man. SKS, just missed this one. Look at this move, guys. I was in this ages, yonks ago. Inside bars here, Breakout. So anyway, that stock is amazing. Tab, I was going to trade this, but I didn't. But you see how tight this is, and it's broken up. It's just a bit of a slow move for me. So I'm just trying to concentrate on the ones that can give me a result very quickly. TEA, I'm watching that base here. This is in the kind of similar space, I think, to MAD, but no, stocks are pretty hot. And I'm nearly there. I missed that. VAU, let's skip. Zip, I'm always watching. It's a good one to trade. Now, just quickly, that is my current ASX watch list, okay? I've got some others in another watch list which haven't made it to this one yet, but this is my list that I'm seriously watching stuff, right? Now, I just want to quickly look at Rio, right? And then look at, it's broken out here, so you can see what I've been looking at with Rio. I'm not in Rio, by the way. And then I just want to look at a monthly chart, okay? And I think I've done this before, but are these laggards or are these just putting in bases? Because it's easy to get confused, between the two. It's easy, and that's the whole bloody point of bases. It's easy to think that when something's basing that it's a piece of shit and it's never going to do anything. Or maybe this is just putting in one of these 5-year bases or 4-year bases. Then if it breaks up out of here, maybe, Rio's headed to 300. I don't bloody know. I'm not saying it's headed to 300, but I'm saying that this, on a monthly chart, this thing has been going sideways, really, kind of, you can't really include since the GFC, but up here since May 21. Okay, it's just been basing, and there's interesting things happening in the resource world. The world's not going to suddenly not need all this mining, and this is just basing. So I'm just saying if that starts breaking up out of there, I think that's telling us something. Okay, and then BHP, it's similar, right? I mean, it's not quite as tight as the Rio chart, is it? Like it's come down a bit more. I think it's probably a bit weaker than the Rio chart if I had to pick one. But likewise, like it's broken out of this big channel. This is a monthly chart. If it starts, trending up out of that channel, and then it's going to retrace and stuff around, and it takes these old highs out from June 21, then, that's telling us something, okay? So I just want to look at big picture because it's pretty important, right? And then you look at the mining services stocks, like MAD and monthly, and it's like, okay, these things have blue sky above them, right? They're just sitting up there, like it's what is the market telling us, right? And you got to take a step back and just think, okay, like it's kind of sending us a message, I think. And so I'm watching all that now. NATL on the US, tight up here, hey, bang, right? Like just a high, tight, flat base. Most of my US setups at the moment have broken down, okay? and been no entry. Okay, I've had some this week. I've had some good scalps. I've had a few small losses. I've had a few break evens, and been trading probably more than I should be at the moment. But in terms of big moves and swing moves, I think this one, like, that's an all-time high there, and so I like that. Everyone's happy when that breaks out. This is a weekly chart. It's basing it tightening, big volume on this up move. Okay, you want to see that. Like, it's so important for breakout traders, like, to have a big move before the base, right? Unless it's a stage one base and blah blah blah. But like, most of stage one bases, big stage one bases, are much more rare than continuation bases, aren't they? Right? And so because the stock can obviously only have one massive stage one base, but they can have 10, 20 continuation bases sometimes, right? So and big move on big volume, which is great. Base in here, volume dropping off. Like, look at here on the weekly chart, the volume's like less than half of the 30-week moving average. And then let's see if it can break up out of there, right? I'm in the video, and it's interesting, right? I think I've talked about this, but okay, I got in here half my position, I think a bit more than half actually, and then I added more here. Then the AMD news come out that OpenAI is working with AMD, and so it's interesting, right? But what I've done is, I love these little cheats. They are risky, but my average price on this is now kind of down here, so about here, right? So I've got a stop loss here, and I just think, bugger it, like, this is about break even or a tiny win, and if this breaks this doji low at 183.33, I'm just going to bail, and I'm going to take a tiny win on it and just keep watching it and see if it resets. But if it doesn't break that and goes up, then I've got just got free money to play with. Okay, so let's see what happens. That's how I do my stop loss stuff. It's just, I just don't want big losses. Okay, I promise you, like, go back through all your bloody results. Okay, and there's no one does this. Like, seriously, 1 in 100 people do this, even though it's the most important thing to bloody do as a trader, is to go back through all your results and study them, right? And ask yourself, like, if you look at all your big losses in there, okay, and then change those big losses to small losses, and then see what your results are. And it's a similar thing between all of the traders that you kind of learn about, like the Dan Zanger, Mark Minervini, that Queen Amali guy. They all cut losses so quickly, right? Zanger's out within 20 minutes if volume doesn't come in, right? That's how aggressive he is with his volume. He's got to have an entry with massive volume and it just goes immediately, or he just cuts it, and he takes like $100 loss, because you can take 20 $100 losses. Who gives a shit in a row? But then when you get it right and you buy and it just explodes, he makes bank, right? Serious money. And so I just made that $100 up. It might be $400 or $500. It depends on how much he's trading. But small losses, at break evens, who gives a shit, right? You can have so many of them. I'm rambling. And what else was there? Oh yeah, PLTR, right? So this is obviously one of the leaders. Had this kind of distribution day. Thought might be rolling over, but just watching it here. This guy can really move. So one of the biggest leaders in the market is sitting up there, maybe with blue sky above it. Okay, that is it. I am going to piss off. It's good to get this out nice and early. Talk for nearly 20 minutes. It's a bit long. Hope everyone's well. It's a good market right now, but there's all, you just remember that the music can stop, and you got to have a plan for when it stops. You can't just keep floating along thinking that Santa Claus is going to keep handing you cash every single day. One day you won't, and you need to be ready for it and have stops in place and have a risk management plan. Cheers, bye, guys.